So I've got to bend these now to 15 degrees. No, it's not too bad actually. So we'll take the new tube now up the top. I'm here to pick this up. I'm in the yard this morning, just got a bit of a workshop job to do. So one of the problems I've been facing with this when we've been sowing some of the mixed species seeds is the seeds come down this air pipe from the metering wheel and hit this Y piece. Now in here, in fact, let's whip this off, I'll show you. So each tube splits into 2 spreaders. Undo this. Oh, I don't know how easy that's going to be to come off. So basically what's been happening is that this piece goes inside the tube, which creates a lip on the inside. And if some of the diverse species we're sowing, there's like, even though the seed's been cleaned, odd little tiny short bits of grass or chaff, and it can just lodge against there and start bridging. And it's amazing how it only takes 1 or 2 little bits before you know it, the seed tube's blocked. So on some of the seeds we've been using, it's been a real problem. So what we're going to do is we've got a new kit. We spoke to the technical director of stocks at Lammer. What he suggested was that we do away with these Y pieces here, these splits. And off the manifold, we've got 8 air pipes coming out, which then go to, through the Y piece, to 16 of the spreader plates. So what he said is, do away with that and just use the new spreader plates. So this new one they've got is a wider angle spread. So they come fairly frustratingly like that, and we have to bend this bottom plate up to about 15 degrees and bend these little tabs in. But he said you can do away with 16 outlets and just have 8 outlets. So as the seed comes down each pipe, it's not getting split. So what that'll mean is that each pipe will have twice the velocity, twice the amount of air pushing it, hit this wider angle spreader plate, which will distribute it further. So you'll still get an even spread over 6 metres. So I've got to bend these now to 15 degrees. Shame they don't come like that already. Take off these hoses. I've got a new length of hose there, and we're going to reconfigure the machine onto 8 outlets rather than 16 and see if that gets us through the problem of sowing some of this diverse grass mix that we're using. So the first challenge is going to be bending these. This is probably why they get you to do it yourself, because it's a pain in the neck. Put that in the vise to start with, get that level. No, it's not too bad actually. Oh, it's not too bad. So we've got a guess for about 15 degrees, which is not going to be massively easy. I've bent pretty simply, to be fair. I haven't got a, what's the word, protractor, so I can't measure that angle there very easily. So I'll have to nick one of those out of Oliver's pencil case, but I think that will bend pretty easily from there onwards. So if I get them like that, I think we can make minor adjustments later. These little tabs at the side just need bending in to get the correct spread pattern as well. Also, just by starting in the vise as well, it means that you start the fold evenly all the way across so that it's parallel, which will probably help with accuracy. I think rather than smacking at them with a hammer and a chisel or whatever, we'll just do these with there's a bit of mould grip in there. Again, with these, we can just tweak these if we need to. We can look at the seed pattern, spread pattern, when the machine's up and running again. And they can be tweaked a little bit if they need to be. Right, we'll start by taking these outside ones off. So that tube should come off fairly easily. So we're going to need all these Jubilee clips to go back on again. Hopefully, if we can just slacken these bolts off. So you can see the difference there between the old spreader plate. Oh, it's just coming straight down onto that angled piece. And then the new one, which has got a larger gap between it and these wings on the side. So I'm guessing as it hits the plate, it's got more opportunity to open out and spread than that where it's hitting the plate and just going straight out. It's subtle stuff, isn't it? Now, of course, we need to remove half of them, don't we? So it's a bit of a pain. Quite a simple little system that holds them on. It's just like a little metal tab that sits down this channel. So we can keep all these as spares. This is the sort of stuff that's going to get put in a box, left in a workshop, probably until we retire, and never ever get used, and clutter the place up. But if you throw it away, you guarantee that you're going to be in the market for buying some more. Maybe we'll leave them there for 5 or 10 years and then put them on eBay. Right, so I've got the first few off there now. So I've measured the width of the machine now. I know we've got 8 outlets and we need to position those nice and evenly across. So let's get a marker pen, a centre point then for where each spread plate wants to go. Obviously we're not going to measure to the outside of here, it's the working width of the drill we've got to measure, so that's 6 metres. So because we're assuming a overlapping pattern, we want to be 8 outlets, so 75 centimetres between each outlet, but then this end wants to be half the spread. So if we set the first one here at 37.5 centimetres from the outside of the machine, so that's half the distance from the edge of the machine, and then we want to go 75 centimetres and centres thereafter. So we'll take the new tube now up the top. So we'll get this new tube up here now. That's coming off that manifold. I don't really suppose it matters which outlet it comes off, but we might as well just copy what was there. That's going to come to here. Nice thing with the new pipe's all nice and clean, so it is easier as well to see that this pipe's not blocked. So we can reuse the old Jubilee clips. Now what I think I want to do here is the Jubilee clips on the old spreader plates were right at the bottom. And I think the key is to put the Jubilee clips as close to the top of the pipe as possible. I might be wrong, but by putting it there, it's pulling this pose really tight into the metal. So you imagine if the Jubilee clip was at the bottom, it's not creating the closure here quite as tight. Any little ridge there, which creates a problem where bits of stalk can get into it. So I think by putting the Jubilee clip at the top, it's still doing the same job, but it's holding that pipe really tight against the metal, so it can't have a little crevice for anything to lodge into. I think we've worked out what we're doing now. So I'm just going to carry on all the way down the machine. So I won't bore you with watching me do the whole lot. I'll put in a quick time lapse. You can watch me go through, put the whole lot on down the side of the machine, and then we'll be good to go. That's great. So we've got all the air pipes on, so the drill's up and running again. So we're hoping now that will really solve the issues of having to block pipes on those wire pieces. So I'm dead keen to try that. The only other thing on I love the little setup. It's a cracking setup. We've had great success with it. It's just done everything we wanted it to, really. From a seeding point of view and the harrowing, dead good. So a right wide variety of grass, specie-rich grassland, GS4 mixes, SFI mixes, winter birdseed mixes, all sorts of stuff through it. Dead universal, and really pleased. One thing that's really winding me up on it This is a safety bar for holding the two folding wings of the harrows and drill together in transport, so there's no chance of them coming apart. But there's nowhere on the machine to put it, so you'll forever see me sticking it in a hedge somewhere at the edge of a field or near the gate. It's just a bit of a pain, really. You've always got to end up in the same place. You've put it down, and kind of easy thing to forget. So I thought it'd be nice to be able to have it somewhere to mount. Now, I can't find anywhere where it's meant. I would have thought that when Brown's made these, they'd thought about this. And they may well have done, and I might have just not being a bit stupid and not found where it's meant to locate, which is equally possible. But I've searched and searched, I can't work out where the heck it's meant to stow away. So what I'm thinking of doing here, I don't see why it can't just rest on here. I think if I drill a hole through the bar there to match up with that, it'd sit on there, slide back to that position, and it won't be able to rock around or go anywhere. For the sake of just drilling a hole in this bit of metal, it'd be loads easier than trying to weld or fabricate some little lugs somewhere on the machine for it to go. So I'm just going to draw around that. And if we did fold it up while that was in place, it'll still be at a height where I can reach it, because that's where we have to get to anyway to put the bar on. And I don't think it can crash anything on the basis that these legs stick out further and that sticks out further. I can't see that it can cause any harm. It's going to be well outside the CD unit, so I think we'll go with that. I'll get a hole drilled in here. Oh, that's ace. So that now will fit on there, clip in it. It can't go anywhere because it gets stopped by that and that, so it can't come off. Happy days. Very simple solution. Another job ticked off. Just brought our old power harrow, our HR4004. So she developed a few leaks and on the bearings. See, on the oil seals on the bearings, you see here, we've got oil coming out, and there's quite a bit of play in the bearing. And we've got, I think there's 3 or 4 which have got the leak and play in the bearings. So we were in two minds what to do with it, really. We thought about having it fully stripped down. So quite a big job on these, because you've got to take off all this jazz. You can see someone's been in it here before. All that's got to come off. And there's a boatload of dirty grease in there to clean out, to get through, to be able to change the bearings and oil seals from the top. So we've had 2 quotes. One quote came in, and I didn't see the point. It's worth pointing out. There's a plane going over. We didn't see the point in opening it up, cleaning all that grease out, just to do the 3 or 4 bearings and seals which have gone or are wearing. I kind of thought, if we're going to go to all the mire of taking the whole thing apart, because it's not just on one side, it's on the other side as well, the amount of work involved in that, we might as well replace all the seals and bearings. So that way we're not going back into opening it up and saving all that labour, paying all that labour twice. I haven't got time to do it. So the prices came in at ballpark, round figures. We were quoted £8,500 by one machinery dealer to open it up and replace all the seals and bearings. Another machinery dealer, we're talking about £6,500. We paid 12 grand for this a couple of seasons ago. So that puts this, if we go to the middle of that, because these are estimates, not fixed price deal for doing it, that's going to put us 7 grand, about £19,000 into this machine, which is 2014. And I kind of thought that if we're getting into that 19 grand for a 2004 machine, it's getting a bit punchy. Obviously the gearboxes, there's wear potentially in other parts of the machine. It's never going to go up in value in my mind. So we had a couple of seasons out of it. We've taken a couple of grand hit on the machine from what we bought it for, just short of a couple of grand hit for what we bought it for. She's done a fair bit of work for us, and it got us out of a fix. We bought this second hand from a local dealer that's no longer with us, because we had a breakdown on a 3 metre, and it turned up quickly. It's done a couple of seasons, got the jobs done. I think it's time to move on. So, the future. I'm here to pick this up. We've had a brand new Kuhn HR4004. Exact replacement for the one we've got, or the one we had. This is the very last one of these machines in the world ever. The last one off the production line in France. This machine, I was told by other people, you couldn't get hold of anymore. And this is the last one out of France from the Kuhn factory of the 4004s. And I think this is a cracker. The reason I like this machine, a lot of the work we do is you'll see some of the stuff we're doing with ponds and lakes and that sort of stuff. We've got a lot of topography that we're often working. So it's not just the field work, it's doing that different stuff around wetland features. If we go wider than 4 metres to 5 or 6 metres, then we can't work on those tighter contours the same around the ponds. I mean, 3 metres are fantastic for that. Whereas, because we're not covering massive acreage on the general sort of ground prep for drilling, I think this is a really good fit. It's not as so wide as a 5 or 6, so that it misses on some of the contours, but you get on so much better than a 3 metre. So that's why I thought we'd stick with 4 metres. We've got the tractors and the horsepower now to go bigger, but I thought 4 metres is still the way forward for us. What I love about this one is, being the last one of these, is we're not going to work this overly hard. It's not covering huge ground. This will last us a hell of a long time. The difference in buying this than having that one refurbed is about 10 grand. I think it's a no-brainer just for what it would be to revamp that one, still have a 11-year-old machine. For 10 grand difference, we might as well have a brand new machine that's probably going to see us out for a long time. What I like about this model is it's pretty simple. This has been replaced now. I don't know what the model numbers are of the new one, but the new model, by all accounts, has got hydraulic system for your rear packer, for your depth control, hydraulic on the levelling boards. So they've added a few extra features, and I believe, ballpark, it's added another 10 grand to this machine, which would have been like 20 grand difference on that old one. If we didn't have this one now, and next year we decide to keep that going for another year, this wouldn't be available, which means we're going to be forced into the latest model, which is going to be an extra 10 grand, and we're suddenly 20 grand adrift. I don't need those hydraulic extra features on the back of these. In fact, I think it's probably a negative for what we do. And why I say I think it'd be negative, if we send one of the team out with this, and we've got it set about where it wants to be for the grassland work we're doing or the arable work we're doing, and it's not working quite deep enough, we say just lift it a couple of holes, you know, on the depth stops. Just alter the pinhole, go up 2. Give the levelling boards a couple of winds. It's simple, you can't get lost in it. I've not tried, don't get me wrong, so it's not a fair review, but I've not tried the new version. But in my mind, if that's all on hydraulics, if someone flicks a lever, alters a setting, then you've lost your reference point, or it becomes more difficult to explain where to go from or to. So I think the simplicity of this is probably an advantage for us. It is very shiny, isn't it? I've been saying some of the previous videos, like, should you wash the kit off afterwards and then leave it wet in the shed, or just leave it a bit dusty and give it a blow off with a blower? It's really tempting to keep this power washed, isn't it, really? An addiction for new shiny metal things is not necessarily a great idea, but I do think this is the right purchase for us. This should be trouble-free operation now for power harrowing for a number of years. I say that last one, done a couple of seasons. The one before that, we've still got that 3 metre. It wants some work doing. That was repairing a bit. That was a really cheap second-hand machine out of an auction, which, to be fair, has lasted us a long time, done well, and we'll just keep budging that together. But yeah, this is like power harrowing, done, taken care of. Life is sweet. Another bit of kit, hopefully, that we don't get any breakdowns or downtime with. Kuhn stuff is good though, isn't it? Like, be Kuhn, be strong. It is quite a good slogan, because we have been impressed with their kit, to be fair. We've got loads of it, haven't we now? Balers and things. So we've got first and second team on it now. First team being, what's your name again? Martin in the yard. And then second team, Joe's just turned up.
I've just finished my lunch.
The nice thing about being here at Wrights Agri, we get a free fitting service as well. It's like a bit like Clark. Do you remember when you should get your shoes measured, your feet measured for your shoes? Same service with a PTO shaft. That's brilliant.
That's it.
What's that?
I'm doing the clips on the fast fit time.
Oh, right. Maybe we did. Lost it. Oh, just for flicking off the
clip, yeah.
Oh, look at that, no expense spared from Kuhn. Well, it's a quick short trip back from Wright Agri. The amount of Kuhn stuff we've got in the yard now is bonkers. So obviously this is just replacing like for like. Two Kuhn flail mowers, Kuhn rotavator, Kuhn power harrow, Kuhn rake, Kuhn baler. It's like seven significant bits of machinery really from the Kuhn brand. Not giving it that much thought. We've always got on well with our kit, to be fair. Think a hat. Yeah, Joe, young Joe, great young salesman. I'll show you how good a salesman he is, in fact, actually. No jackets, no Kuhn merch, no hats, nothing. No Kuhn freebies. So all this Kuhn equipment, no Kuhn freebies. All I got, he gave me a brochure on a new baler. Do I need a combi baler in my life? Maybe, very expensive. He seems really keen to get one on demo to us. Maybe if there's anyone at Kuhn HQ watching, maybe they can take pity on us. With all the Kuhn stuff we've got, maybe we should have a long demo. Get half a season out of one, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, yeah, so this is really good. I think it was the right business decision to make. Have I got mud on my nose? I think it was the right business decision to make. So obviously it's a bit more jump again, swapping it for a new one versus repairing the old one. But this is going to last us a long time. I think, you know, often in business, first loss is the best loss. So going for this, I think we've got a hell of a longevity out of this machine now. I think that's good. New metal on it as well. The tines were just about jiggered on that other one. I have got a set of new quick release tines we were going to put on that last one. So I've still got the metal work for that. So we've got loads of metal work. There's a fair old bit of money in all the tines, to be fair. Yeah, good peace of mind. We're getting to a busy season now. Over the next 8 weeks, we'll be doing this machine will be doing a hell of a lot. So it's kind of nice to have it renewed now and take the mither out of this autumn. Nephew's going to be well excited. When George turns up, he'll be really excited. I don't think he knows we've got a new power Harrow coming. Yeah, definitely good to keep on top of kit. Keep it up to date. I know you can end up spending a fortune and just working for machinery dealers if you're not careful, but without the kit, you can't get the job done. And we need reliability because breakdowns and downtime is an absolute killer on our sort of business when it's so seasonal and weather dependent. So we have just got to keep up to date all the time. See the bin arm with the grease gun? Everything's all greased up, ready to go. Beautiful. So we'll get her in the shed because I think the first bit of kit we've got to get out will be discs is the next thing. Oh no, got some spraying to do, we've got some burning off, some grassland to burn off, ready for reseeding on several sites, and get the big bedner on and disc up some ground. That's going to be hard going, proper dry. There is a bit of rain forecast tonight, but we could do the fair old bit, to be fair, just to try and soak in a bit now. And just wearing parts is just going to be awful this year, isn't it? We're going to be burning through bits of metal like fun. I'm just looking anxiously over at the rotavator. The rotavator tines are really on the way down now. I think they should, we haven't got that much to do. They should just get through. If they'll just get through this season, this winter, it can have a strip down then and a full new set on. There's always something. There is always something to have to spend money on.